All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a paper coil pot. Okay, so what you're first going to do is you should have a full-size magazine. You may need two, some glue, a ruler, and a pair of scissors, and some tape, like Scotch tape, masking tape, only a little piece. Okay, so thing first is what you're going to do is you're going to take your magazine carefully, hold it, and you're going to, you want a nice clean cut like this, okay? And you're going to do this to the whole magazine. So I lucked out because my magazine has staples. So like I said, you may need 2 or 3. So my magazine, like I said, has a staple, so I kind of lucked out, but you want to be really careful. So make sure, notice that I'm moving my hand back and forth so that I can support my magazine. Remove the staples. And break off my last one. And it can be really any kind of magazine. So you're going to take all your magazine pieces. Okay, that's the first step. The second step is, so I have some more here, and the next stage is you're going to take your magazines and you want to cut them in half. So I'm going to put off to the side. I have one sheet. I'm going to take it, fold it in half, press that down. You have two options. You can either, if you're good at this, you can support your ruler, nice large L in the center, and just pull towards, make sure you're on the pull towards your ruler, and you can do it that way. Or if you don't have a ruler, you're going to again fold it in half, press your line out, take your scissors and cut on that fold line. So you're going to do this to all of your pieces until you have a nice large stack, right? And then from there, so see, this is my entire magazine. So then from there, I'm going to take this first paper. Now, this is really, really important because your first 2 or 3 when assembling is kind of tricky. So, but you're going to take your paper, fold it in half once, fold it in half twice, watch your lines, and then fold it one more time. So this is the next stage, what you're going to do. So you want to do this to every single one. And also, don't be in a hurry to fold. You want to make sure your lines are very right together, because otherwise you're going to end up struggling. So then here, so you're going to see my hand. Okay. So that's one. So you're going to get to your whole stack. So again, take it. So I'd have all of these folded. So again, I fold the center, and then I just kind of guide with one hand, and then I will guide with the other. And again, fold one more time. So you're folding 3 times. This gives you a sturdy and stable strip. so it doesn't rip on you. And again. So I'm going to do about 10 to get started. And again, notice that I'm guiding with one, making sure my edge is lined up, reinforcing that fold. Okay, so this is not a race. I gotta fix it. So again, make sure that fold is nice and sharp and crisp, otherwise it'll come undone on you. And if you have a little tearing, that's okay, just be super careful. You want to make sure like your colorful side is mostly outside. If you don't have a magazine, you could use like a phone book. People throw away magazines all the time. I'm sure you find grandparents, parents go out and buy a magazine. Figure out where your resources are. Okay, so I'm going to give myself about 10, but what you need to do is you want to do this until you're all at them. And when you store them, give yourself like a Ziploc baggie, a gallon-sized Ziploc baggie. That way they're all in place, so when you start working, you won't be losing anything or having like your parents think you're at home, like this is trash, because then you're going to have to start from square one. All right, so I'm going to stop here. So, all right, so the first one's a little tricky because, you know, you got to make sure like this is super, super tight. So you're going to take it and you're going to kind of fold it over. Just kind of roll, make sure you're lined up. You kind of hold the ends at a certain point. Make sure this doesn't come unfolded, so that's the other thing you want to watch. You need to make sure this is guided, so just kind of keep rolling. Some magazines are a little tougher than others, I've experienced, so then my fingers at the top and the bottom like this, so I can guide this, but also hold this paper in my hand to guide, to make sure that it is going along and it's not unfolding. Because we definitely do not want to have this coil separated. That would be absolutely horrible, because then you'd have to start from square one. So you can see it's nice and tight, okay? Focus it. Okay, so it's nice and tight. Again, so this is my first coil. So again, depending on what type of magazine you have, really, making sure my fold is staying folded. Okay, so this is the first one. So I'm going to hold this like this. You want this tail to be like a ½ an inch right here, so it's sticking out, so it's ½ an inch. And also you can see like there's that fold line. So the neat trick is that you're going to take, again, another strip. You're going to place, see how there's that V? Place that V, just slide it in, and it'll nest right in there. So then you don't have to glue anything. So you nest that right in there and then start folding again, making sure, like I said, make sure you are keeping this new strip together properly, okay? Make sure you are holding this tightly. And if it kind of warps a little bit, that's okay, because you're gonna kind of bend it enough once you start building a little bigger. All right, so you just keep going. If it looks a little sloppy, that's okay. You can you're gonna press it once you get a little larger. But again, it's really important that you keep that nice and tight. So again, here's that split, right? So I'm gonna take my next one. It's my V. Everybody see the V? So I'm gonna just slide that right in there. Again, looking for that 1/4 inch tail. So I pinch it together and go to my next one. Keep going. Sometimes if your covers are really, really thick, don't use the cover of the magazine, the back and the front cover, because that's never good, because then you'll just really struggle. And again, make sure you keep that super tight, okay? And as you keep doing this, actually it moves along a little faster each time. So again, there's my V, right? There's the V. So I'm gonna take, again, here's my V, right there. I'm gonna slide it right in there, that 1/4 inch, and make sure it stays together. So right here. And you keep going. And you can start seeing it bigger and bigger. Make sure it gets tighter. Keep that tightness. It's very important that you keep it tight. So let's say class is like getting close to ending. You don't obviously if I let go of this, it's just gonna spiral out, right? So I'm gonna take this, and this is where you have a little piece of tape. So I'm using masking tape. You can use Scotch tape because you can cut it or peel it. Everybody in class will be using masking tape. Just kind of press it so it doesn't pop on you. And the other thing too is because you started, you kind of just rotate it and, okay? So now, before I leave, I'm gonna wanna put a little bit of glue in the center, okay? Because I want my center, in case this comes unraveled, I don't want to start from very, very square one. So I'm going to put some glue in here, right around the center. And then just kind of tap it, and I can kind of push the glue down into the center, okay? So the glue will actually push down into the center, and as it dries, and that way in my Ziploc baggie, it's not going to stick to the bag either, because the glue's pressed there. And so you're going to take your if you have extra strips like this, or you have your magazine pieces, you're going to do that. So when you do that, so I've gotten about this size with this one, right? So now I can actually squeeze whatever shape I want. So this one I'm kind of making more of a, like a teardrop effect. So as you keep building, right, you can actually form a shape. So some kids have done like a square. Some kids are forming it to be a, like 2 ears. So it looks like a character. So to be continued, second video, we'll show you as we get bigger. Okay.